What is going on, everybody, on YouTube? We are currently live on Twitch with the interview with Popstar Veggie right now. Songwriter, producer, person of many, many hats. We're gonna get into everything that they do right now. Popstar, how you feeling?
What's up, man? How are you? It's super sick to be here. Thank you for asking me to do this.
Yeah, it's no
Um,
problem.
Many hats. Yes, many hats. I do too much work and I had to do, yeah. But anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I'm really awkward, but you have to lead it. So
Nah,
we'll be cool. We'll be cool.
nah, we're gonna be great. We're gonna be great. I'm excited about this interview. I was excited when I asked you. Thank you for coming through such short notice. 'Cause for those who don't know, I kind of just hit Popstar up last night and was like, "Yo, you trying to do this?" And so I appreciate you for
Right.
making the time to make this happen right now.
No,
So
no, of course.
let me. I got a couple questions for you, and they're pertaining your name. Okay. First, how do you want me to refer to you? Is it Pop? Is it Pop Star? Is it Pop Star Veggie? Is it Veg? Is it Veggie? Which one?
So I mean, it's veggie for the most part. The name is I don't know. It kind of came like organically, I guess, if you want to say that.
Pun intended.
So No, but that was actually funny. Um, but for the most part, I used to be vegan. I was vegan for like 5 years,
Mm,
and so I guess like my friends just started calling me veggie, and it was like a cool thing. And then I was like, fuck it, like back on SoundCloud, like a minute ago, I was like, yeah, let me just start making like make my pseudonym where I make music under Young Veggie as like a troll.
mhm.
And then veggie just kind of stuck, and now I've just been veggie ever since. But I still eat meat now, so I
Yeah,
guess I'm
yeah.
kind of a fraud, but
Nah,
it's
I
okay.
listen.
That's
It's
the
tough.
only thing I lie about.
It's tough to be vegan, yeah. I tried it. I tried it myself for like 7 months, and then I tried to get back into it a little bit after that. It's tough. There's not a lot of options, especially good options. I'm a person that likes flavor in their food, so being vegan, there's not a lot of that. But that's a cool origin story. What? So how long have you been operating under this name, Popstar Veggie?
So I've been producing since about 2017. I want to say I started producing in 2017. I've been in music since 2010 though. I come from a hardcore scene. I was in a rock band,
Mhm.
screamo, to be specific. Which I found like cool. Like I was able to play a lot of shows and play in a lot of places, and it was really fun. But what I mean, obviously that everything must die and must come to an end eventually. So, what I mean, when you're doing something independently, creatively, I felt like veggie was just a way for me to just stay consistent and stay, keep my feet dipped in water.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I guess to answer your question, yeah, I haven't been doing this, I guess, very long. I guess there's a lot of people I know that have been doing this for forever,
Yeah.
especially production and shit like that. But I guess just me being like knowledgeable in theory and like learning. I was like an orchestra kid growing up and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I played cello and shit like that, and then that got me into guitar, and then guitar got me into hardcore music, and hardcore music got me into like more harder, like different type of pop, and then the PC music shit and all that stuff that like I love now is all it all makes sense in the end. They all tie together.
Yeah. So you said a lot there, but I want to focus on one thing, and you kind of mentioned it towards the end, is the PC music. Um, like you said, you haven't been doing this for very long, right? But in my eyes, you wouldn't be able to see that, right? Because you clearly seem to have this understanding of not only the PC music, hyperpop, and just that scene and genre, as a whole, but you clearly have an understanding of what the internet is and how to operate in that space, especially with what it is
Yeah,
that
no.
you're doing, right? So, how did you get there? How did you get to that comfortability level of being able to post the way you do? There's a certain level of personality and I get personability, if that's a word. But then there's also that side of the internet, the memes, the music, the just the overall charm of all of those things wrapped in one. So how did you get there?
Um, I don't know, man. I think I'm online, man.
Hmm.
I'm with the shits, man. I know what's going on. Like, luckily, like I didn't grow up in a very like I grew up in a town called Elizabeth in in
Yeah,
Jersey,
I'm
and it's a
familiar.
pretty like, diverse culture. Yeah, it's a pretty diverse culture place. You know what I mean? Like I ain't go to school with a bunch of white kids. Like I didn't have to deal with none of that. You know,
Hmm.
until I moved to town I live in now. But you know, I was able to like be in a school that um especially like around a lot of people who are just into a lot of shit. So I
Hmm.
was influenced by it. I had so many ways to get influenced by so many things, you know?
Yeah.
Um yeah, I guess that's that, but
So it's
I
just
mean,
coming from the origin of being exposed to everything so early. So
yeah, no, of course.
when did you realize that you could package that? Was it when you stepped into the persona of Veggie? Was it when you were in your band? When did you feel like you even just needed to package that in general?
Yeah. So I mean, Veggie was kind of like an overnight thing. I mean, for the most part, I mean, Veggie was always going to be like a producer pseudonym for me. Like it was going to be like I'm gonna go like to be Proud by Veggie or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, And then I just kind of I kind of started writing my own shit because I wanted to top line for other artists and write little things for other people. And then people just started being like, "Yo, dude, we love your demos. Like, you should just drop music. Fuck it." And I was like, "All right, cool, whatever." And I did drop music before under Veg, like Young Veggie, and that was just a fail. But I just realized very early that like I mean, even when I was in a band, like I was always the one that was a little more outgoing online. You know, what I
Yeah.
mean, in person, if you come up to me, I won't come up to you. I'm that type of person. I'm very quiet. I'm
Yeah.
very shy. But for the most part, a lot of sorry, I lose my train of thought all the time because
Yeah, take your time.
I'm
I'm
when I get anxious.
listening. I'm locked
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
yo.
But yeah, but yeah, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out like what I wanted in music. And I was like, "You know what? Like, I love being independent. I love doing shit myself, and I hate obviously I loved being in a band and everything. That was super sick and super fun. But there's a certain point where you're like, you have to worry about five other people and what they want,
Yeah.
and I just want to worry about me,
Yeah.
And I think that's very important to like what I do now, like and everything, Like I've always wanted to do me,
Hmm.
and like especially like when I was in like, I don't know. I found the most happiness and success in my career in veggie. You know what I mean? And you know,
But
that's a
that
good thing.
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because it seems from what I see, right, through your music. Let's take a specific example here. The remix you did, I can't. The song is escaping me right now, but off of Certified Lover Boy, right? I listened to that and I was like, yo, this is hot, right? You take something like that and you pair it with the way you post, even just about yourself, right? These are two separate things. You can see that
Yeah.
there's enough personality there where you don't need to be in a band. And that's no disrespect to anybody that you're in a band with, right? There's enough personality there that somebody will look at that song, look further, and keep looking, right? And you feel like I'm wrong in that at all?
No, no. I think I've like I said, I've always been tied in with the culture. I know what's cool. I know what's hot.
Hmm.
And the scene, especially that I was in before, like they're just very disconnected. They're obviously like more in like screamo is just like a different world. Like it
Yeah,
really is.
I've heard that
And
before.
yeah, it's a different world, and it's you know, that remix, like, which I'm so upset about because it's so good,
It is. It
honestly.
really
It's
is.
I think it's better than the original. A lot of people think so as well.
Yeah.
So, especially being from Jersey, like being able to like take that, make like obviously I love making like UK garage and like any type of step kind of shuffle type music. And my buddy Eli, who me and him like just worked on something for Cookie Kawaii for her album. Uh, Eli's all over that. I just did one record on there, but what I mean, it was a good way for us to like kind of combine like what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Like obviously, I've been doing a bunch of garage. She's been doing a bunch of Jersey club, and me and him is like he's like my earliest friend. I've known him for over 10 years. So, and me and him have been in bands together. And it's cool to see us like now producing together. And he's doing really well. He's signed, and he's killing it. So that's always a cool thing.
So are you saying carriage? Right? Is that what type of music are you making right now? You said the other person's
So
making.
It's called garage, like UK garage. It's like
Okay.
a style of like, I guess, house music you wanna call it, or, it's style of drum that, gets put over it. It's in around 125, 135 BPM
Hmm.
usually. Um, but it's like it's a if you once you hear that shuffle, you'll know what it is, and
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool shit. It sounds cool over R&B music. It sounds cool over any type of cool pads on 130, and even anything like shuffly is cool too. But I've been like just learning about a lot about like that, like about grooves, about like feeling, because I know you're a producer as well. We're used to just
Mm.
quantizing, putting everything in time constantly,
Yeah.
and this is more of a style of production where you can kind of unalign your drums and kind of create like your own bounce and shuffle that no one else is gonna. It's all based off feel.
Hmm. That
Yeah,
specific genre that you're working on right now, the UK garage.
correct. Yeah.
So, what about explain to me a little bit more in depth about hyperpop then? How is where's the difference and do you ever see yourself kind of like I don't want to say leaning towards one, but more so one just happens more naturally than the other, if that makes sense?
Yeah. So hyperpop, I mean, that whole like word is just like, to me, like, what I look at hyperpop now, I guess in today's age, is like, I guess whatever people want to say is on the Spotify playlist. You know what I mean? But obviously, hyperpop is so much bigger than that.
Hmm.
Um, I know a lot of people get really salty about this. I mean, I, to be honest, can't care. Like, it's really hard to give a shit and gatekeep shit. Like, I don't gatekeep no genre. I don't care that much. Um, and I guess people can categorize me and put me under hyperpop and shit like that. Um, which is cool, but like I make a bunch of other shit, none of my songs sound the same. I
Hmm.
have a freaking alt pop song. I have a fucking like a like glitchy shit. I have, shit that sounds trap. I got a bunch of shit, like, and I'm never gonna conform into no genre. Like,
Hmm.
that's I try to stay as far away as possible away from hyperpop. Like, I could care less about any of that.
Right.
I want to make memorable music. I want to make timeless music. I want to make shit that people can listen to forever. That's what is important to me.
Hmm.
Even if it's not through Veggie, like it could be through Veggie's production or through Veggie songwriting.
Hmm.
To me, that's way more important. Like, I don't care about like being the most poppin' artist. Like, that's the least of my worries. Like,
Hmm.
I care more about like leaving impact. I think impact is so much more important. Because at the
Absolutely.
end of the day, we all die. You know what I mean? And if there's gonna be one way someone's gonna remember me, I hope it's through music,
Music.
not
Yeah.
through anything else.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the songwriting for a little bit, but before we talk about songwriting, I want to ask you more about just production in terms of how do you see yourself, right? Because you want to make impact. And I asked the producer I interviewed yesterday, this Coach Wave, how do you see yourself fitting in the process of music making right now, especially with the people that you're working with? Because your reach and it seems like it's very far with the people that you're working with and you've had the opportunity to kind of put your twist on their stuff. So where do you see yourself in the process as a producer?
I think my biggest strong point, I guess, in production is that um a lot of producers are very like stuck on structure, on like how shit is supposed to sound. This is how shit's supposed to be. Like, me coming from hardcore music, and like coming from like, I love like dark industrial shit. I love crazy sounds and shit like that. Obviously big influence like from Sophie, shit like that. And rest in peace Sophie, obviously. Um for the most part, like, I think me just being I literally listen to everything. Like, the other day I was listening to Casey Musgraves. Like, today I was listening to
The most
like
recent
screamo. Like,
album?
very disappointing. I don't want to talk about it, but it's extremely disappointed. And like, I'm a nerd. Like, I'll sit there and I'll literally like me and my friend like sat there and we literally listened to the whole album one by one. Like, reviewed every song one by one. Like, we're just music nerds. And I think me digesting so much music just makes me a better producer. Like, I know how to like I love to add influences of everything in all my music, like, and that's the biggest important. Like, I think there's producers like pop producers, there's R&B producers, there's trap producers, and they only do that, and that's the biggest thing. Like, I literally like to make it. I love anything pop, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And anything pop to me is anything that's popular. So anything that's lit, I'm gonna make. Like
Hmm.
anything that's like I see that people like, I'm gonna make. Like I wanted and find a way to make it me.
Hmm.
And that's like and having swag. A lot of people don't give a fuck about their swag. Like
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing for me.
it's making
Like
sure it looks
that's
good
super
too.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. There's a way to package your stuff. You know what I mean? And even if you can't package it the nicest, like I can't package my stuff the nicest. I
Hmm.
don't got a job no more. I'm jobless. That's how I'm living my jobless life.
Hmm.
I'm just doing music now, which is the first time, and I'm 25 now. I was never able to do that. To just quit my job and just focus on music and
Yeah,
and,
that's what's
and
up.
be financially stable. Um, so I think people just like really got to put themselves like if I can't package myself out the correct way, I'm gonna make it memey. I'm gonna make it funny. I'm gonna make it more presentable to other people.
Right. So, how does that? What do you think about the transition or the evolution of um, pop music? Right, because the early 2000s pop music is so different than 2010s pop music. 2010s pop music is completely different than like 2015, 20. So how did your understanding and your love essentially for pop music manifest as everything was just changing? If that makes sense, I can explain that a little bit more directly if you need to.
No, I get the question. So I've always had a love for pop. Like I love Justin Timberlake.
Hmm.
Like love Justin Timberlake and even Bieber. Like I'm a big Justin Bieber fan. Like to me, I mean, we could have a whole Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber debate any day. Justin. I feel like
JT
Justin
all
Bieber will
day.
always reign.
JT all
No,
day.
Justin Bieber
Sorry.
will reign supreme any day of the week for me.
Chill.
It's all right. I get it. but I love Bieber, and I think
Wait,
yeah, dude.
I got it. I gotta
You're like
hear this. Why Bieber over JT? Why NSYNC JT then solo JT over the Bieber?
listen. Impact. That's all I'm gonna say. Impact. Obviously, we need a Justin Timberlake for a Justin Bieber to exist, right?
Right.
We do. In the
Okay.
end, of the day. I understand that,
Mm-hmm.
but Justin Bieber has just done more. He's just done more. Like he's given us more. He's dropped, bro. People sleep on journals. That is like probably one of the best projects he's ever dropped. And not only that, like man, I get way too passionate over Justin Bieber just because like people be shitting on him so hard, and it's like dog, like he was literally a kid when everyone was just shitting on him.
Yeah, he was pretty young.
And I mean, he's still dropping some bops. You know what I mean? Like people forget Beauty and the Beat. Like people forget that song with Nicki. Like, like people
Yeah.
forget about that.
So
But
that's it.
even Purpose,
This is the
great
first
record.
time I've heard anybody say Bieber over JT, and this is something that
That's
I'm
my
gonna
favorite
look.
artist.
I'm thoroughly shocked right now, especially with the comparison to Justin Timberlake. But you
Their
have this.
moments, their eras, man.
Say that one more time.
Their moments, eras. Like Justin Timberlake had his era. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But right now it's Justin Bieber right now. Keep in mind, think about it. Like what? Like, did you listen to Justin Timberlake's last album?
I did, and it was there's
Yeah, it
some
was
this.
no, bro. It's garbage. It's garbage. Garbage. Garbage.
It's
I don't
not
know.
his best. It's
It is
not his
garbage.
best.
You know what I mean? And keep in mind, and honestly, like to talk about Justin Bieber's last record, it's not the best either. But at the same time, I want to say the kid's young. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna continue to get good songs from Justin Bieber. It's like I mean. I don't think we're gonna get good music from Justin Timberlake anymore.
Mm.
And I
Yeah,
think that's a lot. That's important. I think if you want to be a king of pop, like you're gonna drop fucking
yeah.
gas till forever.
If we could get the
But
experience, the 2020 experience, JT back,
oh,
absolutely.
that's yeah, that's a
But
vibe. That yeah,
I
I
don't
agree with.
I
But
don't know. But that plays perfectly to my point. Again, it's just pop music has changed so much. It's always different, you know. It's different from year to year, and it's a crazier transition when you do it from decade to decade. But again, it was
Yeah.
five. It's a 5 year difference between the 2020 experience and Man in the Woods with Justin Timberlake, and you see how trying to change with the times sometimes just doesn't work. You don't get it. It doesn't click. And I would agree that maybe Justin does have a better understanding and semblance of what popular music is right now and how to manipulate that to work for him. It definitely is easier for the younger generation, especially when it comes to just being creative in this music space right now. And I think that also comes with genres blending together the way that they do. Um, but yeah, that was just me going off on a little tangent. I want to talk to you a little bit about your songwriting. Who have you wrote for? What is it like for you songwriting personally and just for others in general?
Yeah, I mean, I've had like the opportunity to write for some like really sick people, some cool ass people. Um, Pressingly, I mean, you know how this shit works, like especially in the industry, like once you get connected and you start to meet people and you start to get to write for these other people, a lot of them usually sit inside of your phone for the rest of the life. They sit in your phone for the rest of your life, and
Mhm.
that's just kind of how that goes.
Yeah.
Um, I have some cool shit that's gonna drop in the next couple months that I'm not gonna say. It's gonna be a huge, huge, huge thing for me. I'll show you. I'll tell you off stream, I guess.
Right.
But it's like probably gonna be the biggest thing I've ever been a part of. I want to say this is like one huge mainstream artist who dropped probably the worst albums of all time is gonna be on it, but he had a really cool mixtape.
Okay.
And that's all I'm gonna say. I guess if anyone wants to make any guesses, he had a cool mixtape, but he dropped one of the worst albums of all time. But he's
Mhm.
collabing on something that I did production on, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm about to make the bag and get my family out the hood. So that's the goal.
That's what's
You know, even though I live in the burbs, I can't even talk like that. But
so. Have you found it difficult at all to kind of reach outside of where you are? Or has it been because of your understanding of the internet, the understanding of memes, and just your overall personality and charm with everything that you're doing, that does it just come like second nature?
um, I mean, honestly, I've just been blessed with the opportunity of just knowing the right people.
Hmm.
I've like always stuck around people that like have always been mentors to me for the most part. A lot of the people that I've worked with are already clouded. They've already like I have friends who've gotten Grammys, who've done all the right things.
Yeah.
So like learning from their mistakes, like watching them like what are they messing up now and why isn't the career at the point where they want it to be, and looking from the outside in. Um and not only that, like I just like I've always been kind of connected. Like I know a lot of people. Like I just know a lot of people. Like
Yeah.
I used to go out a lot, I used to party a lot. Um so I was able to meet a lot of people and shit like that. And that's kind of how like I was able to collab with certain artists. Like I'm pretty sure I met Reg at a party at my
Yeah.
friend Tyler's house.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
because of that we followed each other on Instagram and then me and Reg dropped a song together, you know what I mean?
Is it, let me
That
ask you,
it's
is
actually
it Tyler, the music director?
the
What,
filmmaker, yeah.
it was he in music director. He worked on Spider-Man Far From Home, right? I don't know if you know that.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He did. You're
Okay,
right.
then
Yeah,
yeah,
he did.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking
Yeah, he's actually shooting a video for me soon. I like me and him have just been we've been like trying to plan something for a minute, but
about.
I'm such like I'm so annoying when it comes to like visual shit, visual content, especially. Like I want myself to like I have goals and I want shit to look a certain way. So
Yeah,
shit's been a little behind and shit, but he's a go. I love Tyler. Tyler's like probably one of the most sweetest fucking. He has what a heart. Like I love
yeah,
that dude.
yeah. I hung out with I hung out with him one time. Like, I want to say it's like 3, 4 years ago now, but he is a cool dude. He showed me his drone, which was dope. And yeah, I'll never forget that day, and I'll never forget meeting Tyler. So that's cool that you have a video coming out with him or something in the works. And it's also cool
Yeah,
that, in a sense, everybody's just really tapped in. There's Reg, there's you, there's Tyler, there's Denley. I don't know if you know him. And there's just
that's
so
my
many
brother.
people.
I love him.
Like, yeah, everybody's super just locked in and tapped in right now, which is great to see. And I'm glad that I'm able to sit down and talk with everybody one on one about these things. So that then just learn the origins of how it came to be. Um, so I lost my train of thought for a second. Now let me get it back really quick.
You're good, brother.
So I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the art of remixing? You know, we're in a big time where copyrights are this huge issue. Anything will get ripped down for having a shred of something in it. So where do you think, just the art of remixing is at right now?
I think remixing will always be will always be a thing. It's so important and crucial. Like I DJ as well, so
Yeah.
you know if something doesn't make it to like a platform, like if it gets taken down, I don't give a shit because I'm a DJ and it's gonna be okay. Like people are gonna listen to it, and if anything, I'm just gonna be playing music that like you're never gonna hear a remix. Like you're not gonna hear a Poppy's Home remix for Drake anywhere else but from me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like you're not gonna hear it nowhere. It's nowhere online. You know what I mean? And I think that's cooler. I think that's cooler having my own remixes that only one person's gonna hear.
Hmm.
Or whoever's there. At the show who got the opportunity to listen to it. Um, I think um, I think remixing. I get it. You know what I mean? I get why why it's such a thing, but at the same time, like if you're posting it on SoundCloud, you're not monetizing shit, like what's the big problem,
Hmm.
And that's the thing, like I wasn't monetizing shit for that Drake thing, but it was doing really, really well, really, really fast, and they got taken down really,
Hmm.
really fast.
Hmm.
So that's just kind of how that goes. There's other remixes that were on there that are still up to this day, that for Poppy song, but mine was taken down because I feel like it was gonna be I feel like it was gonna do super well, and I think their team saw it, and
They're like, no.
they were they're like, nah, like hell no,
Did
absolutely not.
you? So I got one question that I want to come back to. Did you feel though like a badass once that happened? Because clearly, that means your remix had to make enough impact for them to be worried that, excuse me, that it was gonna at least be on some type of, it was gonna be on people's radar at some point. So did you come out of that feeling like, okay, like y'all can take it down, but I mean, at least I know I got to y'all?
No, no, I mean I can care less what about any of that shit.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I guess it proved to me that I'm still like, I get in these ruts. Every creative gets into these ruts where they feel like they're not making good music for a little stint of their career,
Hmm.
and it's gonna happen forever because we're our worst critics.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I needed that remix to drop because like it was just so many people who like a lot of my fans, like people who fuck with Veggie, don't fuck with Drake for some odd reason. But it was a good way for them to be like, oh wow, like this is cool, this is fun. I can make something like I can take something that's completely unrelated, something that like doesn't make sense for Veggie's brand at all, make make that sound Veggie. You know what I mean? Like, and it was a really cool, fun little remix to do, and me and my boy did it in the span of 2 hours, like
Yeah.
literally 2 hours, dropped it 2 hours later,
Yeah, that's
and
some of the best music when it just happens so quickly and naturally like that. I wanted to take it.
it's funny because
Sorry,
I'm
you could
sorry to
continue.
like to
No,
cut
you're
you off,
good. You're
but
good.
I have a really funny backstory on how that remix was made.
Okay.
So I had plans to listen to the like to stream the album completely with a friend of mine, and we were supposed to listen to it, but then that never happened. So then I was at a friend's house, and shout out to Eli, he's the one who also worked on the record with me. He now lives in Miami, but he was packing his shit up to leave, and he just had his like some stuff set up on the studio, and I had my laptop, and he played the intro for Poppy's Home, and it's that piano part that like old school sample, right?
Hmm.
And I just heard the tempo, and I was like, "Ooh, this is perfect for garage." Like, there's no other. Like, I heard it instantly in my brain. And
Hmm.
when you hear shit like that, like that just makes sense so like quickly. I was like, "Nah, dog, we got to do this shit right
Yeah.
now." So at the beginning, he didn't seem too interested in doing it. So I just kind of did it like through my laptop. I did all the drums on off rip with the chords. Um, and then I just gave him, like, the meat and potatoes. I was like, "Yo, this is kind of what I got." He heard it, and he's like, "Fuck it, let's go crazy." He did the Jersey Club part, went crazy on that,
Hmm.
and, that's just kinda how that song happened. Like, a lot of my songs for the most part, like, Play was made in a day. Like, Eli also did production on that. Like, a lot of those songs are, like, that I make are made in the span of 2 to 3 hours,
Hmm.
those fun songs, and then, like, I have other songs like High Forever that, like, took me, like, a month to finish, 2 months, almost 2 months, because that's a little more conceptual. I have songs coming out Faster that are, like, 5-minute songs, but they're, like, fucking crazy production journeys. I wanna say it's like Travis Scott, but hyper pop.
Hmm.
Like, I want, like, I love, like, super, like, Mike Deany, like synthy sounds and shit like that. So, I mean, I guess like that's a big thing that I like to say to a lot of people that I want to be like the Travis Scott of hyper, or like a Travis Scott of pop, like like whatever.
Yeah, that's
And
a
I don't even listen to Travis Scott like that, to be honest. But
no, but
I
I
just
get the
think that like
sentiment.
he has like an avant garde like look into like even trap, like the way he looks at it, his stuff's a little different than
Yeah,
compared to other people's.
it's just it's
I mean, credit
the
to my team.
it's the want to experiment. It's the want to be in this space, but also be different in that space. How can you occupy it, but show the person at the top, like, hey, this is how you really like put artistry into what you're doing. If the person at the top is not putting artistry into what they're doing, but there's a lot of questions that I want to ask you from that. I want to start with going back to the remixing, right? This sense of almost exclusivity now, where it's like if I put something up, it has the potential of being taken down because whatever reason. Do you think that changes the, I guess, value of the DJ and the value of their remixes?
Mm. Can you answer that again? I mean, ask that question again. I'm sorry, man. I
So,
kind of spaced out for a second.
do you think the with things getting taken down off of streaming platforms, SoundCloud, whatever it may be, do you think that exclusivity, like you said, if I'm playing something in the club, you're only hearing it because you're at the club or you're at the show right now, and this remix is specific to me, you're not going to hear this anywhere else. So do you think because if you're able to make a good remix and play it in these spaces where people are able to enjoy them the way that they're supposed to, that raises your value as a DJ and that raises your value of your remix?
I think it does. Only if only if you're able to execute it correctly. If you're able to create impact, like if you're able to play something that like people know that they're only going to be able to hear from you, they're gonna want to keep coming to you because they're gonna be expecting surprises, expecting shit they've never heard before, demo like remixes they never heard before, and to me, I feel like that will help any DJ. I mean, if they're always gonna be if they're always playing current cool shit that I mean that's I love taking like any big release that comes out. Like my goal now, like since I don't have a job now, and I love saying it because it feels good. Um, is literally I want to remix everything. I want to drop remixes, and I guess any if I want to give advice to anyone who wants to do remixes, just wait 2 months and then drop. I guess if you want, because
Wait to
that'd be better. Yeah, because
that's hilarious.
if you drop day of,
Then it's a
you're gonna get
big
copyright
issue.
strike.
If you drop day of
And
and the album's mid, then you're gonna run into big issues.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I didn't think CLB was that good either, but I mean, to be real, I didn't listen to all of it. I think I got 3 songs in
And
and
then
that's
it was
it.
just like, that's fair.
So
That's fair.
yeah,
That's
Donda's better. No offense.
no, that's a good play. A completely fair comparison. It is light years ahead of Certified Lover Boy. I wanna ask you though. You said that you made that remix in 2 hours. right?
Yeah.
And you obviously have an understanding of the internet and you know how fast trends and just things can move. So, do you think the being able to have these almost very exclusive remixes that you play in whatever setting that you're able to play, right? And the quickness that you're able to put something out or produce something, do you think those two things go hand in hand and benefit you in any way? There's a second part of that question that I want you to answer that first.
Um, I guess the goal is like for in the end of the day, like I think every producer when they're making a remix, the goal is to have the original person who made the original song listen to the remix
Mm,
and find that way to be like, okay, we should work together, or we should do something together. Like you definitely have an ear for something that like you listen to my music and we're able to create something that I would have never, I would never picture the song going that way. That's usually the long term goal that we have. We want the original artist to listen to the record.
mm,
But I think like to me like making remixing and doing all that shit is like just fun for me. It's just fun as shit. It doesn't really do it for my career anymore. It doesn't really boost my, if anything, it just creates engagement on SoundCloud. And
mm.
the goal is to eventually take that and then, once I become a little more like comfortable on TikTok and other platforms like that, is taking those mashups that go so crazy on TikTok and put them on TikTok because I think that shit people love that shit. I mean,
Yeah,
unfortunately, the kids love any type of mashup.
yeah.
So
That makes perfect sense. That actually answers the question like perfectly. I want to talk about something more personal though. I want to talk about your style. You got a pretty cool style. You're not afraid to express yourself through that too. Is there anything that inspires you to do that, or does that just come from you on the package everything a certain way?
um I've I grew I'm a fuck boy in the end of the day. Like respectfully, like I love shoes. I love like designer. I love shit like that low key. And in the lowest keys, people won't. But like people who know shit, like they'll see me like, okay, I see you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it's very like subtle, like little subtle like hints like that. I've always been like that. I've always loved fashion. I love clothes, and the school I went to school called Jeff in Elizabeth, and it was such a diverse school. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I went to school with all types of people, all shapes, sizes, whatever you want to call it. I was able to learn so much like from like just watching other people. I was inspired by a lot of people, and obviously me being in the hardcore scene, I love chains, like so that like mixing that in with streetwear and stuff that I like, just I kind of blended the two together, um, and yeah, and then I just like getting tattooed. I think
Yeah.
that's another thing.
How many do you have? Do you know, or is it like you lost track?
Right now I just got I just finished my arms for the
Okay.
most part, but the neck, the head is next. All that is next. So yeah.
um, are there any fashion trends right now that are coming out that you're really looking at or paying attention to? And have there been any that you were on before that are popular now?
I mean, that's the case for me with everything, with music, with I'm not like us being online so much. Like, I tend to just I listen to new music all the time. And I'm always trying to stay with the shits. But in terms of like fashion, um, I've just been disappointed. Like, like I don't care about any of the new Yeezy shit. I don't care about any of the new Jordans that have been dropping. Like,
Mhm.
not all that shit. I don't care about right now. I do like the new Enfants collection that just dropped. Their shit's really fire. That month is really nice. Um, and Enfants is actually a really cool brand. I think if I'm going to tell anyone about a brand, it's called Enfants Supreme, which means that depressed rich kids. I think it's
Okay,
in French. But they're a really cool company. They
I'll
make
check
like
that out.
real couture, like weird shit that's fucking $1,000 for a holy shirt, but it's like 1 of 10. And
Yeah,
I love like exclusivity. That's what people. That's what I love exclusivity. Like if there's only 10 in the world, I want 1 of the 10. That's what I want. That's
yeah,
all I give a fuck about.
yeah.
And that's how like I've always been. Even like with Archive Raph Simmons, like. Like I love old Rap Simmons. Like like that's the goal. Like once you got enough bread to drop 100,000 on a shirt,
Yeah.
one day. But a lot of people look at that as stupid and foolish, and it is, honestly. But I mean, I can't help but like materialistic shit, unfortunately,
Listen,
and the
everybody
product.
has their own hobbies. I'm not knocking it, I'm a firm believer in don't knock it till you try it, and especially if you have the bread, like yo, more power to you. Spend your money on what you want to spend your
Yeah,
money on.
I mean, I'm not doing that now. I mean, a lot of people get
Yeah,
it twisted, and that's why people get mad because people who don't have money will try to get shit like that because they think they need it,
yeah,
and that's why all that stigma is created where like oh you're just overcharging for clothes, blah blah blah, capitalist piece of shit, whatever. But it's not even about that. It's just because I mean, you created a brand that like people like Supreme. Like keep in mind, like like I used to skate too. I'm a skater kid. Like I was really good at fucking skateboarding once upon a time, and Supreme to me that's a skate brand to me. Like I used
yeah,
to skate like I used to have Supreme BOGO like SBs now that cost like thousands of dollars. I have holes all over them. I
yeah,
skated everything. Like I never gave a shit. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of how that goes. But like swag to me is just is so important.
yeah.
I mean, if I'm gonna say anything, I get all my swag from Justin Bieber. That's all I'm gonna say. If I'm gonna
All right,
talk that
everybody.
big.
That's it. Pop. So, um, I got another question for you. Did you see the double XL cover with Tyler? I think that dropped either today or yesterday.
No, Tyler
So
the Creator.
yeah, Tyler the Creator. He's on
He did something for Double XL.
he's on the cover of the latest issue. It should be on his Instagram if you want to take a look at
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. I saw that picture. Yeah, yeah. I
So
didn't. I didn't. Is there anything
there's not,
specific that?
yeah. There's something specific I wanted to ask. I noticed that he's been painting his nails, right? And that is one trend for guys that I just have not understood, right? But I just wanted to ask you, what do you think about him being on the cover with his nails painted? Because there's been so many people lately, like on huge platforms. Like, I don't know if you know what Valorant is, right? It's this popular PC shooting game, right? And one of the commentators
Yeah,
had,
Valorant. Yeah.
yeah, and so he had his nails painted, and I was like, wow, that must be so amazing for all the anybody out there who wants to take anything from it, but like specifically for the young men out there who are like, I want to do this, but I'm kind of afraid because whatever the case may be. So I've been seeing that a lot more lately, and I just wanted to ask you, what do you where do you stand on that?
I mean, unfortunately, like people just have like a very heteronormative like they think things shit is only for like it's all gender based and that shit like nail art. I feel like anyone should be able to design their nails and put whatever they want on their fingers. That's super like like that's a way to express yourself. Or however you feel for that 2 weeks span. Um, and and it feels really nice. I love doing my nails. I
Yeah.
think like pampering myself is I love like I do a face mask every day. Like wash my face, and able to do my nails. I don't know, like I just do my nails because I don't want my nails to look busted.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
at the same time, like I want to design them the way I want to. You know what I mean? I want to make them me.
Mm.
They're. I've gotten nothing but compliments. Obviously, I got the random boomer getting mad about it, telling me that I need to stop doing that, and the kids are going to see me and think it's okay.
Yeah,
But you tune that shit out. Tune
absolutely.
that shit out.
Well, so what about the people doing it on the big platforms? Because there's like streamers with 30K views, nails painted, and I think it really sends a positive message of just simply like you don't have to care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I've seen like I know Hasanabi, another
Yeah,
big
that's
streamer. He paints his
literally
nails, stuff
who
like
I'm
that.
referencing. Yeah,
Yeah, I love his song. Yeah, it sounds great.
sounds great. Shout out
Um,
Hassan.
yeah, um, yeah. For the most part, I don't think it fucking. I think it's good. I think it's good that we see like bigger influence, like people with a larger platform, like kind of normalizing that shit. Because like,
Mhm.
there's no reason why that should have been. There's no reason why it shouldn't have just been a girl thing and a girl like it doesn't matter. If I want to get tips, it shouldn't be a problem that I want to get tips.
Right.
If that's how I want to express myself, that's how I want to express myself.
Mhm.
So I think it is. I think it's important. I think it's important that they do that. You know what I mean? Especially like in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like hip
Yeah.
hop has been for forever been a very homophobic space. You know what I mean? And obviously it's getting better now.
Mm.
But you know what I mean? Like shit like this, like if I was when I was in high school would have people would have made fun of me. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And said the
100%.
worst things to me.
What did
And
they?
that we're probably around the same age, so
Yeah,
already know that shit was really different when we were in high school. You
you
know what I
would
mean?
have got clowned out of school if you go up in with that anything. I know for a fact.
Yeah, of course.
So, but we get with that point, right? I think it segues perfectly, actually. What would you say to somebody, right? So, I want to speak personally. For me personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with a guy painting their nails whatsoever. For the longest time, I didn't understand it, and I like asked certain people like, "Why do you do this? What is it for?" And I get different answers. Oh, it's for fashion. I just wanted to try it. This is the first time I'm hearing somebody say like, I just like pampering myself and like I just want my, myself to look nice. What about, I don't think I would ever personally paint my nails, right? Do you think that people should still have space to say like, okay, yeah, that's cool for you, but I don't see myself doing that?
Of course, yeah. I think no one should be able. You shouldn't have to do shit. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
in the end of the day, like if you don't want to do it, you don't got to do it.
Yeah.
I just do it because what I mean, like pampering, and I love. I'm very like I'm a cleanly person.
Hmm.
I used to bite my nails a lot, and I think this is a good way to help you stop biting your nails. You
That's
know
a
what I
great
mean? And
point.
I also have make them look cute.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I guess that's all I'd say about that. Like I think a lot of people are too like quick to be like, "Oh, nah, that shit is weird." Like, chill, dude. Like, and it's like, what's weird about it? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're just like, I don't know, you're just holding some type of you like most of the times people just they're insecure. That's it.
Mhm.
And you gotta learn how to get that out.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. I really like the fact that you that that charm and that confidence that you have online, you clearly still wear that just in your day to day, whether it's just a organic conversation or you're making music. And that's what really kept me keeping an eye on. Because once you see it and you understand, the only way you're not gonna see the charm and the understanding of what you're doing is if you really just don't understand like the internet and how music is moving, songwriting is moving, fashion, DJing is moving, in general. That the people who are saying negative things to you, they literally are like just too out of their head to even get it. So I really enjoy and appreciate what it is that you're doing. Keep it up. Um,
Thank you, bro. No,
no
thank you.
problem. No
No,
problem.
I always try to keep shit fresh. You know what I mean? Like this space is so diluted and so fucking like so many people just want to do what someone else is doing and like not worrying about like them. Like just worry about yourself and just do shit that makes you happy. And like
Absolutely.
literally this is the I guess if I'm gonna say anything to anyone, especially when it comes to making music or like trying to make money in the space, um, the biggest thing is this space will literally there's a lot of fucked up shit that happens, especially when you're in it. When you're in it, you'll start to hear all the horrors, all the fucked up things you get paid for, all the things that the way they want you to look. Sometimes they tell you you need to drop 20 pounds. I've gotten weird shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and like there's a certain point where like artists will be like, damn, I'm not good enough. But I think like if you want anything bad enough, you got to just put the work. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
and any artist, I guess I'm gonna say like one thing, I've never felt so inspired in my whole entire life ever until I quit my job and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this. And ever since that, I've been making probably some of my favorite songs I've made in my life. Like everything I've been making it felt so beautiful because I'm not worrying about anything else. I'm not worrying about money. I'm not worrying about like I'm not worrying about like, damn, I gotta wake up early. I gotta work tomorrow. Like I'm not worrying about none of that. It's just carefree music, and
Right.
it's the first time I've ever made carefree music where nothing else matters, where I have nothing else that is gonna get in the way to make me feel like, damn, like I can't do this today. I just create. I built. I like worked my ass off so I can like save enough money to just chill for a couple years and see if I can make this shit happen.
Yeah.
So that's just the goal for me. That's all I'm gonna do is just focus and just drop a shit ton of content. I got a lot of shit dropping next month. I got some remixes coming out next month for other artists. I have, like I said, I have a collab coming out next year, which is gonna be fucking crazy. Um, and just a lot of veggie shit. I think veggie is gonna be showing up a lot more than people think. You know, I'm gonna be a lot more shit. So I'm excited about that in my future and shit like that. So
That's what's up. I'm glad
that's what
that
it is.
we locked in some time to do this interview, Veggie. Thank you so much for coming through,
Yeah,
being
of
on the
course, bro.
stream. I appreciate you so much.
No, thank you.
I'm gonna wrap things up here, and then I'm gonna hit you on Instagram. All right.
All right, perfect.